Hello again, gentlemen. This is Unit 4, Lesson 2 this time. So please open your book to page 40. Now in this page, we are going to have some grammar. And we will get to know some expressions of quantity like a few, a little, a lot of, much, and many, and enough. Let's have a look at them. Now, we have two types of nouns in English, countable nouns and uncountable nouns. Countable nouns are things that we can count, like you can say 1, 2, 3 lemons, 4, 5, 6 students, 6 tables, 5 elephants. So many nouns in English are countable, and we have non-countable nouns as well, like nouns that you cannot count. You cannot say that you have 1 or 2. Like for example, you cannot say I have 2 waters, I have 2 oils, I have 3 sugars. No way, you cannot say this because they are non-countable nouns. So all liquids in English are non-countable, like water, tea, coffee, oil, all these things. Even sugar is non-countable. Salt is non-countable. Fish is non-countable as well. Coal is non-countable, and many we have actually a lot of examples in English that are non-countable. So we use some quantifiers with countable nouns and some quantifiers for non-countable nouns. Like for example, if you talk about countable nouns like carrots, you can say I eat a few carrots. A few means little, but it is for countable. For non-countable, you say a little. I eat a little seafood. Many is for big quantity, so many is for countable, and much is for non-countable. So you say I eat many vegetables. Why? Because vegetables is countable. But you say I don't eat much bread because bread is non-countable. You may say that, okay, it's countable in Arabic, we can count. Yeah, but in English, if you want to count it, you can say a loaf of bread, 2 loaves of bread, 3 loaves of bread, and and so on. So how many bananas? How many? Because it's countable. How much for non-countable? So this is it simply. I have something for lunch. If you want to put it in negative, I don't have anything. So we use something in positive sentences while anything in negative sentences, and someone and anyone as well. For sequence, you start with first. Like for example, if you describe like recipe to someone, you say, okay, first mix the flour and eggs, then add a little bit butter. After that, you put in a teaspoon of baking powder. Finally, you let it rise. So this is what we call sequence words. Now, let's check the exercises. Okay, so here you're asked to use whether something, anything, or nothing in these spaces. So don't forget, something is in a positive sentence, in affirmative sentence. Anything is in negative sentence. Nothing is also in positive or affirmative sentence, but here it depends on the meaning. So let's look at sentence 1. You're a good cook. You always have delicious for dinner. You always have what? So you always have, this is a positive sentence. It's an affirmative sentence. So can I use anything? No, because anything is just in questions or negative sentences. So you always have something delicious for dinner or nothing. So he's saying you're a good cook. So you always have something delicious for dinner, right? So number 1, it's something. Now, number 2, the refrigerator is empty. There is to eat in here. There is anything? No way, because it's positive. Nothing or something. It's empty, so there is nothing to eat. I haven't made special. I haven't. Now, this is negative. Blindly anything. There is better than a nice cup of coffee after a meal. There is what? Something better than or not anything. There is anything? No way, there is nothing better than. Aren't you having anything for breakfast? Anything here makes sense. You should eat something in the morning. Okay? Very simple. Now, next. Ask and answer these questions with a partner again. How many, how much? So how many onions are there? Count the onions, 3 onions, or a few, you can say a few onions. How much cheese is there? How much? Can I say how many cheese? Because cheese is uncountable, you cannot say how many cheese. So it's how much cheese, Yeah, there is a little cheese. Okay, so this is an example. You can practice this with a partner at home. Now, complete the conversation with any little few dozen package, enough, many, and much. Then practice with a partner. Number 1, do you need help? Yes, I'm going to make a cake, please. Check the refrigerator. Are there eggs? Are there what? Any eggs? Yes, any, because it's a question. Yes, there are. How? Now we're talking about eggs, right? So how much or how many eggs? There are only, now eggs is countable, so how many? Yeah, how many makes sense here, right? Okay, so there are only left, there are only what? Yeah, eggs is countable, right? So can I say a few or a little? Yeah, it's a few because it's countable. Now, how butter is there? Butter is uncountable, so how much or how many? How much butter is there, right? Now there is only a little left, right? Because it's uncountable. For a cake, there isn't what for a cake? There isn't a dozen or package or enough. There isn't enough for a cake, because this is what makes sense. Can you please go to the store and get a what of butter? A package? Yeah, a package of butter and dozen eggs. Okay, so simple and easy, right? Now, after, before, first, finally, these are consequence words. You know, at the beginning, what do we usually use first? So first you start, check you have all the ingredients. Put 3 cups of flour. Then put, okay, let's check. Yeah, then put 3 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 3 teaspoons of baking powder into a bowl. Number 3, add half cup of milk. So we used first. Okay, so yeah, we can use before twice. So before, add half cup of milk, an egg. Okay, you have made, so we have 7 spaces. We can use a word more than once. So then again, use then again, because you have a lot of spaces here and only 4 or 5 words above. And number 4, you have made the dough. Before you have made the dough, let it stand for about 30 minutes. Okay, so it's after you made the dough. Let it stand. Before you spread the dough, make sure it has risen enough. Before spread it evenly on the pan using your fingers. Okay, so here again it's before, and at the end it is finally. And okay, this is the end of today's lesson, gentlemen. See you next lesson. Goodbye and have a nice day.